Hi there. I wanted to do a really quick video just to go over something. This may be old hat to a lot of people that have played board games for years or play online, but um, one of the things that I've really enjoyed over the last quite a few years is the what's known as the Vassal engine. It's a great way to play board games virtually. I know there's some other tabletop things. I think on Steam you have the Tabletop Simulator and so on. Vassal's been around for quite a while. Gosh, I'm not sure. It's vassalengine.org. Don't remember how many years. I don't know if it talks about that at all in here. But it's been around for quite a while. Oh, it began as, that's right, it began life as the virtual advanced squad leader back in 1996. And then, I guess by about 2002, Vassal was born. I don't know that I've used it the full 20 years, but gosh, I've been using Vassal for quite a number of years. And it's really great. I've got a lot of old board games. Some of those board games are in bad shape or have lost components. But mainly if you've got rules for an old game or you're able to you know, get rules for a game, this is a great way to grab modules. Basically what you do is you download the Vassal. You've got different downloads here. Like in my case, I've got Windows 64-bit, so I've already got mine installed, but I think they've got other flavors of it too. It looks like it runs on Linux, Mac OS. You've got Windows here, different flavors for that. There's older releases and so on. But one of the nice things is that a lot of people, donate a lot of their time. They do quite a bit of work to create modules for different games. And if you click on that modules tab, what you'll see here is, and this is kind of open for designers to submit work. Some modules are a little better shaped than others, but the ones I've downloaded have been great. You can sort them according to if you're looking for a game, according to the number of players that you want to have playing. You can sort them by publisher, game series, era, quite a few different ways. I mean, you can look under here excuse me, and see all the different publishers that you've got, A through Z. You've got Academy Games, Access Games, all these lists of Asmodee, Arcane Wonders, Atlas Games, Avalon Hill, Avalon Hill, I guess after they were acquired by Hasbro and so on. I mean, you can go back here, like say, for example, I go back to gaming, doing board games at Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, the original Squad Leader. No, I didn't play so much Advanced Squad Leader, but I did play, one of my friends was had bought Squad Leader, and we did play that. It was pretty enjoyable. But you can go back and find, gosh, there's these old games like Acquire, which I've never played, but I believe that goes all the way back to like 1962. Um, and these modules, they have an extension called VMod, and when you download these, you can play them. And these modules are all free. I guess the main thing that you need to have is you need to have the rules, or you know, it's really recommended that you've had a copy of the game before, because in these modules, there's copyrights and such that, they really can't necessarily publish the rules inside of these modules. So when you get these, they're not really complete. You're not going to get necessarily the rules with them. Like here's one, gosh, the old Midway game, which I'd never played that, but it's kind of cool that these kind of live on in this format. I mean, Panzer Blitz, that's pretty well known, but there's all kinds of other, just tons. Gale Force 9, gosh, what do they have in there? Oh, Star Trek Ascendancy. Okay, so there's like a whole list. I'm not going to go through all of these right now, but I will just say quickly that I've got mine open here, this Vassal. I'm currently running 3.6.17. One thing you'll find out is they update this quite a bit. So if you haven't played for a few weeks and you come back, it may say, "Hey, excuse me, do you want to update Vassal? There's a new version," and I usually always do. Some of these modules here are ones that I've already downloaded, and I do own. I have a copy of Wizard Kings. I do have the old Napoleon at Waterloo. There was an old, I think it was in Strategy and Tactics. I believe it might have been like 1979 or so. I remember seeing it published in a copy, and I actually somewhere in this house in a box, I actually have that um, magazine in the game. It was one of the earlier games that I probably played. There were other ones I played before that, but I would say as far as a small, like folio-based type game, a small game with a limited number of counters, that was one of the early ones. It's a good introductory game. But yeah, I can open this one up just real quick to give you a feel for what it looks like. And I suggest you play around with a little bit. This Napoleon at Waterloo, it tells you who the maker of the module was in this case. You can look for games online. You can load a saved game, or if you want to just start a game offline, you can do that. I usually just type in initials or something in here, or whatever. Um, and then password, I just generally leave that blank. That's more for like maybe if you're playing. If you're playing online, you might want to do that to keep some of your stuff hidden, but I usually just leave it blank. Depending on the module, you'll have different setups. This is very, very basic. You just have a beginning setup. Some games, I think, like if you get into things like, just as an example, maybe Rise and Fall of the Third Reich or so, something like that. They might have different campaign scenarios. I remember in that game you had like a 1939 to 42 scenario, or maybe a 44 to 45 scenario, or you could play the entire campaign, which is basically from 1939 to 45. So depending on what game you're looking at, you're going to have different setups. So this is a very simple game. So if you select the beginning setup, you can play as an observer. Not sure exactly what the good that might be. Maybe you want to observe an online game, maybe. You can play as the French or the Allies, or you even have a solitaire option here, which means you're going to see both sides and you're going to be able to move both sides. So it's kind of fun. You do get prompted to start a log file, and what that will do is it'll just kind of you know keep track of things that happen during the game. I guess if you want to go back and comments, you can leave comments here when you create that log file. There's a lot more to learn. I don't want to get into a whole lot of detail here, but you'll see that you've got the units already set up. This is the opening setup that you've got. You can save the game, you can end your log file, you can refresh counters, show a debug window. There's different help. The user's guide here is going to be a user's guide for Vassal. So again, you're not really going to find the actual, manuals here. You've got different, casualty things here, whatever the game has. Oh yeah, there's a variant. I think that's what that is. There's a group. I always say grouchy, and I know that's not the way you say it. It's French, but there's the variant in this game where you get additional reinforcements, which didn't actually happen in real life. But yeah, I'm not going to go through all of this. You do have the ability to take snapshots. Like if you hit that camera button that I just did, it takes a PNG file or a screenshot file, which is kind of cool. If you want to keep track of a game and get screenshot files of it. You can also zoom in, zoom out. Not seeing that here. Okay, those would be like server controls for an online game. So anyhow, I don't want to go much further than what I've done. I just kind of wanted to introduce this to people who maybe have never heard of it and wondered what it is. I know there's some other ones out there which honestly, I should have taken some notes before this because I honestly forget some of the other ones. There's some other ones similar that have been around a long time other than Vassal. But I think Vassal's usually been the one that I've stuck with because it seems like they do have more modules than a lot of the other ones that I've seen. But hey, if you want, you can leave something in the comments if there's another board game simulator that you like and you recommend. Feel free to leave some notes, or if you got any questions about it, or you leave a comment about what some of your favorite board games that you play through Vassal or through Tabletop Simulator or another one. But yeah, hopefully I'd like to do a few more of these short ones just to kind of introduce some of the things that I sometimes take for granted and I don't always realize that maybe, hey, there's people out there that haven't seen it. So I hope this has been helpful for someone, and we'll see you all next time.